This story begins with a question many city dwellers face. How can a small apartment feel grand, timeless, and deeply luxurious without losing its intimacy? In the heart of Paris, architects took on this challenge, transforming a modest residence into a classic luxury home. This narration explores how architecture, proportion, and artistry come together to elevate everyday living into an enduring masterpiece. Paris is not merely a city, it is a living museum of architectural language. From Haussmannian facades to quiet inner courtyards, every building carries historical weight. The architects understood that this apartment must converse respectfully with its surroundings, drawing inspiration from the city's classical heritage, while subtly reinterpreting it for contemporary life within limited square meters. From the street, the building appears understated yet dignified. Stone walls, tall windows, and iron balcony railings establish a classical rhythm. Though the apartment itself is small, the exterior signals elegance and restraint. This facade sets the emotional tone, reminding residents and visitors alike that luxury often begins with proportion, symmetry, and quiet confidence rather than excess. Crossing the threshold of the building, one encounters a refined entryway with aged stone flooring and soft ambient lighting. The architects respected the original character, preserving historical materials while enhancing their presence. This transitional space prepares the senses, offering a moment of pause between the bustling Parisian street and the serene world that lies within the apartment. The staircase, narrow yet elegant, becomes an architectural experience rather than a mere passage. Subtle lighting highlights textures of stone and plaster, emphasizing vertical movement. The architects viewed circulation as an opportunity to create anticipation, ensuring that the journey to the apartment already communicates craftsmanship, intention, and the promise of thoughtful design beyond the door. Upon entering the apartment, the sense of scale immediately changes. Clever visual alignment and balanced proportions make the space feel larger than it truly is. The architects avoided clutter, instead allowing symmetry, axial views, and controlled color palettes to establish harmony. The entry hall introduces the home's guiding philosophy: classical elegance reimagined for modern living. The apartment's layout was completely rethought. Rather than dividing the space into rigid rooms, the architects used subtle thresholds and visual cues to define zones. This approach allows light to travel freely, creating continuity. Every square meter is purposeful, proving that luxury emerges not from size, but from clarity, intention, and intelligent spatial organization. Natural light becomes one of the most powerful design tools in this transformation. Tall windows are unobstructed, framed with refined moldings that draw the eye upward. The architects amplified daylight through reflective surfaces and soft-toned finishes. Light not only expands the perceived space but also animates textures, making walls and details come alive throughout the day. Even in a small apartment, classical proportions matter. The architects applied principles of balance and hierarchy, ensuring that ceilings, walls, and openings relate harmoniously. Decorative elements are scaled carefully, never overwhelming the space. This disciplined approach creates an atmosphere of calm sophistication, where every dimension feels deliberate and pleasing to the human eye. In this residence, walls are not passive boundaries but active storytellers. Each wall features carefully designed paneling, moldings, or subtle ornamentation. The architects treated vertical surfaces as canvases, layering depth and rhythm. These details provide visual richness without clutter, allowing the apartment to feel both ornate and restrained at the same time. Furniture was selected with architectural sensitivity. Pieces are scaled precisely to the room, avoiding visual heaviness. The architects favored timeless silhouettes, neutral upholstery, and refined detailing. Placement emphasizes circulation and symmetry, ensuring the room feels open and composed. Each item contributes to the overall narrative rather than competing for attention. Luxury here is expressed through materials rather than ornament alone. Natural wood, stone, plaster, and brass create a tactile richness. The architect's layered textures to add depth, allowing light to interact differently with each surface. This subtle interplay elevates the apartment, proving that material authenticity is fundamental to enduring, classic luxury. Art plays a central role in this transformation. Rather than treating artwork as decoration, the architects integrated it into the architecture itself. Each wall composition considers scale, color, and historical reference. The result is a gallery-like atmosphere, where art and architecture coexist seamlessly, enriching the daily experience of living within the space. The dining area is defined through architectural cues rather than physical separation. Changes in ceiling detailing and wall articulation subtly mark the shift in function. This creates intimacy without isolation. The architects ensured that the dining space feels ceremonial yet welcoming, reinforcing the idea that even everyday rituals deserve thoughtful spatial expression. In contrast to purely decorative spaces, the kitchen balances practicality with refinement. Cabinetry echoes classical paneling, while modern appliances are discreetly integrated. Stone countertops and warm metallic accents elevate the workspace. The architects designed the kitchen to feel like an extension of the living areas, maintaining visual continuity throughout the apartment. Storage solutions are seamlessly embedded into walls and cabinetry. Rather than introducing bulky furniture, the architects used architectural elements to hide functional necessities. This approach preserves visual calm and reinforces the classical aesthetic. The result is a space that feels composed and uncluttered, allowing beauty and proportion to take center stage. Even the corridors receive careful attention. Wall paneling, artwork, and lighting transform these transitional spaces into moments of visual interest. The architects understood that in a small apartment, every passage contributes to the overall experience. By elevating circulation areas, they ensured continuity and elegance from one room to the next. The bedroom offers a quieter expression of luxury. Soft tones, layered textiles, and restrained ornamentation create a sense of retreat. Classical wall detailing continues, but in a more subdued manner. The architects prioritized comfort and serenity, demonstrating that classic design can be both dignified and deeply personal. The headboard wall is treated as an architectural feature rather than a decorative afterthought. Paneling, integrated lighting, and balanced proportions frame the bed elegantly. This composition anchors the room visually while maintaining symmetry. It exemplifies how thoughtful wall design can elevate even the most intimate spaces within a small apartment. Lighting throughout the bedroom is layered and gentle. Wall sconces, concealed LED strips, and ambient fixtures create a calming atmosphere. The architects avoided harsh contrasts, instead allowing light to enhance textures and materials. This approach supports relaxation while reinforcing the apartment's overarching theme of refined, timeless elegance. Despite its limited size, the bathroom feels luxurious and composed. Marble surfaces, classic fixtures, and carefully framed mirrors establish a sense of permanence. The architects treated the bathroom as a jewel box, where every detail is intentional. Functionality and beauty coexist seamlessly, transforming routine moments into refined experiences. Traditional aesthetics meet modern technology in the bathroom. Fixtures reference classical forms, but deliver contemporary performance. This fusion reflects the architect's broader philosophy, honoring historical language while embracing modern comfort. The result is a space that feels timeless rather than nostalgic, elegant without sacrificing convenience. Throughout the apartment, the color palette remains soft and cohesive. Warm neutrals, muted grays, and gentle creams create visual continuity. These colors amplify light and provide a backdrop for architectural details. The architects use color psychologically, fostering calm, refinement, and a sense of understated luxury in every room. Ceilings play a crucial role in enhancing perceived height. Cornices, subtle moldings, and consistent detailing draw the eye upward. The architects understood that vertical emphasis is essential in small spaces. By celebrating the ceiling rather than ignoring it, they added grandeur without increasing physical dimensions. Much of the apartment's success lies in bespoke craftsmanship. From custom paneling to tailored cabinetry, every element is designed specifically for this space. The architects collaborated closely with artisans, ensuring precision and quality. This level of customization reinforces the apartment's unique character and timeless appeal. Classic design requires discipline. The architects carefully balanced ornamentation, ensuring it enhances rather than overwhelms. Decorative elements are repeated rhythmically, creating cohesion. This restraint allows the apartment to feel elegant rather than excessive, demonstrating that true luxury often lies in knowing when to stop. Beyond visual beauty, the architects considered acoustic comfort. Textiles, wood surfaces, and layered finishes soften sound, creating a peaceful interior environment. This attention to sensory experience elevates daily life, reminding us that luxury is not only seen but also felt through comfort, quietness, and spatial harmony. The apartment is designed to support natural movement. Spaces transition effortlessly, making daily routines intuitive. The architects ensured that beauty never compromises functionality. This seamless flow reinforces the idea that good design quietly supports life, enhancing comfort while remaining visually composed and architecturally expressive. Rather than erasing history, the architects preserved traces of the apartment's original character. Subtle imperfections and restored elements add authenticity. This respect for the past grounds the design, preventing it from feeling artificial. The apartment becomes a dialogue between old and new, history and contemporary living. Sustainability here is achieved through timelessness. Durable materials, classic design principles, and quality craftsmanship ensure longevity. The architects rejected trends in favor of enduring beauty. This approach reduces the need for future renovations, proving that classic luxury can also be a responsible, sustainable choice. Living in this apartment evokes a sense of calm and pride. The architects designed spaces that nurture emotional well-being through order, beauty, and proportion. Classical design, when executed thoughtfully, provides psychological comfort, reminding occupants that harmony and elegance can positively shape everyday life. Despite its size, the apartment delivers a grand experience. This transformation challenges the assumption that luxury requires space. Instead, it demonstrates that architectural intelligence, attention to detail, and respect for proportion can elevate even the smallest residence into something truly extraordinary. For interior design lovers, this project offers valuable lessons. Focus on walls, proportions, and materials. Prioritize light and circulation. Invest in craftsmanship. Most importantly, design with intention. These principles apply universally, regardless of scale, and can transform any home into a refined living environment. The architect's vision is evident in every corner. Nothing feels accidental. Each wall, surface, and transition reflects a clear design philosophy rooted in classical elegance. This coherence is what elevates the apartment from a renovation to a true architectural statement, worthy of admiration and study. This home blurs the line between residence and gallery. Living within such a space encourages appreciation for detail and craftsmanship. The architects created an environment that inspires reflection, creativity, and respect for design, proving that architecture can enrich daily life beyond mere function. Ultimately, the apartment feels undeniably Parisian. It reflects the city's love for history, art, and proportion. Rather than imitating Parisian style superficially, the architects captured its essence. This authenticity ensures the apartment belongs naturally to its context, both culturally and architecturally. In conclusion, this transformation is a masterclass in timeless design and wall-to-wall elegance. By respecting history, mastering proportion, and elevating every surface, the architects turned a small Paris apartment into a classic luxury residence. It stands as proof that thoughtful architecture can transform limitations into lasting beauty.